Greetings from the 69th Annual Conference in Oklahoma City. I'm John Hall, University Registrar at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. I had the pleasure to serve as SACRAO President in 2007 and 2008. The annual meeting was held at the beautiful Williamsburg Lodge in colonial Williamsburg, Virginia. SACRAO has provided me with a wealth of knowledge, experiences, and friends over the years. Participating in SACRAO has been the highlight of my career. I want to thank my institution, SMU, and my bosses for supporting my involvement in SACRAO. And I want to thank my wife, Cheryl, and daughter, Caitlin, for encouraging that same involvement. Many of my SACRAO friends have tracked Caitlin's growth and progress over the years. She attended her first SACRAO meeting in Fort Worth in 1993 when she was 5 months old and made a number of meetings after that. She is now a college graduate teaching bilingual kindergarten. My recollection of my first significant SACRAO involvement was as a committee program chair for the 1989 meeting in Tulsa. My roommate for the summer planning meeting was Paul Anderson from Furman University. Paul served as SACRAO president in 1990 to 91. After that summer planning meeting, Paul loved to always gig me by telling people that I acted like we were an old married couple at that meeting. He swore that at the end of the first evening, when we were all gathered in the hospitality suite, I announced loudly, "Paul, I'm headed to my room now. Are you coming?" I don't remember it exactly that way, but Paul's telling this story always made us laugh. I co-chaired SACRAO's Moses Conference in the summer 1989 with my good friend Chuck Kettlewell. Carol Metters and Carolyn Parham tag-teamed me into taking this on. If you know Carol and Carolyn, you know it was impossible to say no. Moses started out as a very small summer gathering of tech-focused folks to talk about technology. But in 1987 and 88, it had grown considerably. And for the Moses Conference in Dallas, held at the Marriott Quorum Hotel, it had grown into a full-blown conference with 321 attendees, 28 vendors, concurrent sessions and workshops, plenary speakers, and evening events. After the 1989 Moses, I urged SACRAO President Mike Malone and the EC to suspend Moses for a year so it could be reevaluated and the relationship to the organization and how the organization supported Moses could be rethought. I served on the task force that did this, and Moses did return in 1991 with new support from SACRAO. Bill Leslie at Georgia Tech was Moses' chair in 91, and it was a huge success. The 1989 Moses that we held in Dallas is where I first experienced Jerry Smith. We offered some optional tours, and Jerry called my office just about every day asking who was going on which tour so he could decide which tour he wanted to do. After taking so many calls from Jerry, we could not help but become good friends. Jerry served as SACRAO president in 1999. I served as vice president for registration and records under SACRAO presidents Richard John and Carolyn Parham. One memory I have of those times was bad weather hit at the end of the Norfolk meeting in 1994. So the EC worked really hard that Wednesday to finish all of our business so we could try to get out of town before things started shutting down. Due to some communication snafus, this was before cell phones and email were everyday things, Sue Wilson did not get the word that Jerry Smith and I had gotten our flights changed and we were leaving in the middle of the night. Sue woke up the next morning with all of us gone and got stuck in Norfolk for another 2 days because of all the flight cancellations. For years, she's teased me about abandoning her in Norfolk every time I saw her. I served as treasurer under Joe Ruth and Linda Finley during 1995-96 and 96-97. In that era, the treasurer handled all memberships and dues and published the membership directory, in addition to managing the SACRAO finances. It was a big job, and one that got changed after my term with the creation of a VP for membership position. I then left the executive committee until 2006, when I was elected president-elect during the annual meeting in Lexington. Carol Nobles was SACRAO president at that meeting. Rick Skill became SACRAO president, and the 2000 annual meeting was in Little Rock, Arkansas. We had a wonderful meeting and a strong program. The next year, I moved up to president. During my year as president, I got to work with a fabulous executive committee. Immediate past president Rick Skill, president-elect John Fletcher, VPs Joe Head, Janet Davis, Helen Stewart, Christy Kangas, Michelle Forbes, and Lydia Norfleet, and Secretary Zoe Durant, Treasurer Mary Lynn Louie, members at large Rita Garner and Amy Bissett, newsletter editor Dorinda Harmon, and LAC Chair Sally. We had a productive and fun summer planning meeting. We were able to enjoy Colonial Williamsburg when we weren't working hard. My wife and daughter were able to attend with me, and we were able to add on a few extra days of vacation. We had a fantastic annual meeting. The Williamsburg Lodge was a top-notch facility. And since Joe Ruth was not involved, we had excellent weather. Now that's a little inside joke. You'll need to check the Tom Stewart's and Joe Ruth's videos to understand this. Sally Markello from the College of William & Mary was local arrangements chair. Sally had many years of SACRAO EC experience and knew all the ropes. She had assembled a strong LAC team, including Bob LaHoop, Mary Swartz, Mike Turner, Bruce Cunningham, Amanda Craddock, Corey Springer, Vern Reitzel, Mildred Johnson, and Michelle White, and Susan Kennan. Bruce was a past SACRAO president, and he lined up 44 corporate sponsors, which not only made the meeting financially successful, but added a wealth of information for the attendees. John Fletcher, working with program chairs, put together over 100 outstanding programs and workshops. I surprised Sally in the audience by appearing in colonial dress for the opening session. The entire SMU delegation had rented colonial period dress, and we dressed up for all the events. It was great fun. My good friend SMU bursar Pat Woods and several of her staff attended the conference as a show of support. And I think they just wanted to know, what in the world does a registrar do? And I'm guessing that the chance to play dress up also appealed to them. During my term as president, I signed the contract for the 2009 New Orleans meeting, the first time we were going there since 1972, and the 2010 Chattanooga meeting, the first time that we ever went to Chattanooga. Robert Doulis chaired the New Orleans meeting, and I was able to sway Tim Amix to chair the Chattanooga LAC. We had negotiations underway for Savannah for 2011, but could not get everything we liked and needed. And eventually the meetings had to be switched to Atlanta. Tim Cohan, a future SACRAO president, was editor of the SACRAO Journal, and he continued the journal's tradition of excellence. The 2008 issue had 5 well-written and well-edited articles. John Fletcher and I jointly asked Shelby Stanfield to begin the task of looking at SACRAO's use of technology. At the time, our webmaster and manager of our system was a fellow named Reno McCormick, who had a full-time day job and who provided support to SACRAO in the evenings. Reno did a great job, but it was becoming obvious that the SACRAO technology was not keeping pace to what was available and what was possible. A highlight of being president was being able to represent SACRAO at some of the state meetings. I went to Virginia for their meeting in Blacksburg, Louisiana for their meeting in Alexandria, or Oklahoma for their meeting at Quartz Mountain, and Kentucky for their meeting in Lexington. I was warmly greeted and royally treated. I wrapped up my time on the EC as president-elect while John Fletcher was president. During my years on the EC, we discussed many serious issues and worked on many problems. But as you can tell, it is all about the people, getting to know them and often their families. That has been the huge payoff. I want to close by thanking my SMU colleague, friend, and current SACRAO president, Joe Poppery, and the 2016 Executive Committee for providing me and the other past presidents since 2000 with the opportunity to record our reflections of our SACRAO experiences. Best wishes to SACRAO, and God bless you in your work. Thank you.